But I'm not I'm not super interested in it's back. In
Yes.
playing through Stadium without the functionality of playing the team that I raised in red and blue, right? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
you get these pretty generic, just whatever Pokemon in Stadium as a game. And I feel the game is pretty hamstringed by not having an original team to port in. And I don't see how they're going to do that on the Switch unless they actually use some for somehow like a Diamond and Pearl team or something. Yeah, something on the Switch like
Hmm.
which doesn't make sense for Stadium because Stadium's Gen 1. So, and Stadium 2 is Gen 2. So, yeah, I don't see the appeal. That kills it for me already. I get where people are saying a remake, but like that's a much bigger project than just re-releasing an N64 game.
Yeah, yeah. That's I agree too. Like a remake is asking for a lot. That's almost like saying you want Pokemon Gale of Darkness. Remember that when that came out? The game where you
Yeah.
can capture Pokemon in the dark. Like to get a remaster for that is going to require them a whole lot of time, and they're focusing their projects on like the game, like the Violet game that's coming out.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Scarlet
remember
and
the other.
Violet is their next big project, and by any stretch, it sounds like their most ambitious Pokemon game right now. So
Yeah.
just focus on the future, people. We don't need to play Stadium again. Like it's not a thing. Like cool.
Like, hey, bro, like 1v1 me in Pokemon Stadium. Like, where they do that at? Arkansas?
um,
I'm not taking shots at a state.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Ooh,
No, no, no. It's
out,
okay.
people.
I I have a very like I do not like the state of Georgia. Nothing against the people that live in Georgia. I hated Georgia when I was there every time. I used to do summers in Georgia and I hate it. So I will take any shot I can at Georgia. Um
You need to go. Jesus
so
Christ. You want to stay?
yeah, I just like now I will say the one interesting one was GoldenEye and they popped up
Yes.
with
GoldenEye
online.
is coming out for everything.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's coming to Xbox, but is not coming with multiplayer, or at least online multiplayer.
Yeah, the Switch is getting online multiplayer. It showed up like right at the end of that trailer. And they're like, "Oh yeah, and we have one more for you." And it's like da 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 da, and then the iconic GoldenEye
I
intro.
love that game.
Yeah,
That's the game when I could tell your brothers and cousins don't get the golden gun. You can use anything you want, just don't use that. Use just run around or whatever. Oh.
I never got to play it enough that that was a thing. So like all of my friends had it, and I would go to their house and we'd play it, but I never
Mm.
had it. So they were always way better than I was at the game. So I was just like,
Um,
see, for me, I was already indoctrinated in PC first person shooting by the time GoldenEye was a thing. So like I was playing Doom already and like
oh.
stuff like that, multiplayer even. And I was like, yeah, this is not Doom. So I don't get this. Like I like my 10-year-old brain was just like, no. No, I'd rather be killing demons than killing you guys. Like I just
Yeah.
like the only thing I really did well is I was really good at hiding and getting people with proximity mines. That was it. Like that was my thing is like setting traps for people. And
Mm.
like everyone else is like I was like, how do you control the shooter with like this stupid control stick? Like the controls for it were always so terrible, but obviously modern systems are going
Wonky.
to handle it better. I mean, I love Turok, but man, playing that game was a nightmare back in the day. So, so yeah, there was those. Is there anything else that stood out to you, Sasha or Preacher?
No, not really. I just kind of want to play 1080 snowboarding the
Fair,
most.
fair enough.
I like the Fire Emblem. That looks really clean.
On a second watch, I think I like it more. I was very confused by the whole let's bring heroes from the past mechanic, but then I realized it was an equipable item after watching it a second time, and I was like, Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's just fine. You
Mhm.
just pick who you want to be on your
Yeah.
characters. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a persona. It's not too bad. And I always love Fire Emblem just for the permadeath concept. That always is an amazing fun run for me. And I still like the fact that you can like bond with your friends and build your whole relationship with them and make that strong core bond with each other. So yeah. I
Permadeath
don't
and
think I
I,
recall another game. It's a good game.
Permadeath and I have a love-hate relationship. So that's an if.
Really?
That's an if for me. It took me a long time to get used to that in a game. It took me a long time because I
Trying
tend
to
to
see.
make mistakes.
Oh, that's the fun of it.
I know, but
That's
then
the
I feel
fun.
like I wasted 12 hours. Is what happens.
No, no.
See,
It
my
still
my
doesn't work.
completionist brain does not work well with permadeath. Like my completionist brain doesn't handle that well. So it's just like, I can't. But that's also, we talked a little bit about Mass Effect. That's also why I was like, yeah, I'm not going to the Omega 4 relay yet. I want to get everybody. Like, I don't care if that's the goal. I want to get everybody, and I want to do all their
You
missions.
can you can get everybody and still mess up
Yeah.
the Omega 4 relay.
Fair enough. But I
But
am.
another thing that I want to talk about. Sorry, go ahead. You got it.
I don't know what I was going to say. It's fine. So go ahead.
Another thing that we overglossed, the Resident Evil, the ports. They're
Yeah.
taking
Oof.
Village.
That did not sound good.
You can have the Vampire Queen on the go, the big booty Judy and her
Uh,
daughters.
yeah. I think those are interesting. They're doing the cloud gaming stuff with those, um, which is an interesting concept for the Switch because obviously it is a lower powered system. So they're like, hey, let's offload some of that processing power onto the server, and I'm like, I don't know how you do that, but cool. Like, I don't understand that technology, but I get the concept at least. So yeah, the cloud, and it's like Resident Evil 7, 8, one remake, two remake, three remake, like
Yeah.
just
But on
basically
top of
everything.
that, Village is getting Resident Evil Village. They're getting more DLC. They're getting third person mode. They're getting mercenaries. So they're adding on to
Yeah.
that aspect that you're gonna have that on the go, which is really gonna be fun.
Now
The only thing is, I
this information did come up in the Capcom stuff, not the Nintendo stuff, but it's fine.
yeah.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
But yeah, Village was a really fun run for me to just have that to go. It will be really like a great time as well. The thing
Yeah.
is, I'm concerned about is the fact that do you have to get the Euclid? That's how you pronounce it.
The what? Sorry.
The Oaklid, Accolade, the new Switch.
Oh, OLED.
OLE.
OLED.
Yeah, OLED. Do you have to get that in order to play the game and have it like the fidelity of it, or dock it for that matter?
Probably docked. I would say I would assume docked because docked actually does make the Switch more powerful. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't think you'd have to have an OLED. OLED just has a better quality of screen off the dock. That's
Okay.
that's it. Like I don't think it improves anything on the dock. It's all off. It's got a brighter screen and that kind of stuff. But yeah,
Other
uh
than that, yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
okay. So the PlayStation stuff, which I know Sasha, that's not a great show for you as well.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
have a list.
she's an Xbox
my
person.
my husband plays PlayStation, but
You play Gears?
I don't. He's been into Bloodborne again recently, but no, he's more of into like the Soul series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you don't play Gears of War?
No.
Oh, okay.
The disappointment
Like
was real
no.
there.
Yeah. I have a lot that I want to talk about, so please let it rip.
Well, I only have one that I care about outside it. Now, I will say Tekken 8 looked cool. Not a Tekken fan. I
Okay.
I like King, I like Kuma, and I like Gon. That's it.
Get, I mean, that's fair.
Um, the other one, very big on the God of War Ragnarok. I want to see it. I purposely skipped that trailer. I don't want to see it. I'm already going to get the game. I don't need to see more hype about what's in the game. Right? I don't want to spoil my. This is one of those situations where going the more blind I go in, the better. Dude, it is dropping again. I'm just going to let it go.
Yeah, I had to refresh just to see.
Um, so God of War, I like the new version. It took me a long time to play it because that was another thing tied to my divorce because her and I were playing that before that all went down. But I finished it. I like it a lot. But I just don't. I'm already sold. I don't need to see more. You know what I mean? Like I don't need more information. The fact that it exists, I'm getting it. Not a problem. So I didn't. I didn't even watch. I knew it was there. I didn't even watch that part. I was like, all right, skip. Like go on. Like it's not like I don't care. It's just I don't want to see it. Does that make sense?
That's fine. Yeah, no, absolutely. I won't spoil anything. I think it's going to be a really good game. The
Sure.
game prior to this was a fantastic story. In my opinion, I personally wouldn't play it. I would watch the cinematic aspects of the game. That's what I
Oh,
would do.
I played the other one. In fact, I beat all the Valkyrie, which were like the hardest things to do.
Yeah, I've seen my friend deal with that.
The Valkyrie were
What does
like
it even do to beat the Valkyries? Like it buffs you?
you get something. One of them's an achievement, which I didn't platinum that game. I was like, but I did do the hardest thing in that game, which was the Valkyrie. I just don't remember what you get an armor, I think, from each piece. Like each one you defeat gives you an armor or a weapon or something. And I ended up using something. Like, it's been a while. It's been like a couple years since I did the first God of War remake. This God of War. Let's just say this God of War. Um, but I don't remember other than that. Those were tough fights though. Those were real tough fights, especially
The
the
quick timing and blocking and
yeah, like oh my gosh, like I had to look up. I didn't really. I looked up a guide on what was a good strategy to fight them, but not like definitely how to beat them. Right? Like I didn't look like a step guy, but I did look for tips if that makes sense. Because I was like,
mm-hmm.
this is tough, so I want to see what I'm doing wrong, or something I can figure out. So I ended up being pretty close to the right thing of doing already. So I kind of felt like, well, okay, why did I even look this up? But it was just confirmation, I guess. Just self confirmation because I was just failing a lot. But I did it. Um,
This is right around the corner. I didn't know it was coming out this year. Like I would expect more like publicity for it, like more advertisements. Then again, I don't watch normal TV, so it'd probably come on there a lot. But I'm like, man, this right there is gonna be out like next month, like 2 months or something.
yeah.
Like Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my husband will be playing that one, but
You're
it's
gonna
not.
watch him play?
Uh,
No.
I've watched him play some of the others. I don't hate it, but I'm not super invested.
Sure.
I personally just like God of War. Besides just the thrashing and the mauling, big muscles, like the story is really good because it continues from one all the way until now. Usually, games like this, you get a retcon or whatever like that, or you just Thanos something out of the game. No, it's from start to finish. So I like seeing Kratos' story from now, from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why I would say anybody just to watch it on YouTube. Watch the story. Don't play the game if you don't want to.
Right. Okay. And then the other one, which I'm sure you have a lot to say about, the Rise of the Ronin. And I will say, I will preface this. I watched a lot of it. It looks like it's Souls like. Um, However, I got confused, and I was going to talk about this. I was trying to talk about this with someone. Wu Long is the game that I was trying to think of last week is made by Team Ninja as well. That looks like a
Yep.
Souls-like and is set in China, and I think Rise of the Ronin is Japan, and they're coming out
Yes.
very close to each other. So like this was very confusing to me. I was like, "Isn't this Wulong?" And I'm like, "No, wait, it's not. It's not Wulong. It's a different game." But what? So yeah,
I am a Team Ninja fan. I think it's called Nioh. The Nioh series is Nioh. It's a Soulsborne game where essentially,
yeah. I've played number
um,
1. I own number 2, but I haven't played it yet.
yeah, it's essentially you go kill Onis and everything like that. And I think they're gonna expect it to have a third one. Don't quote me on that, but just based on the story, it seems like it's gonna be a third one.
Sure.
And Team Ninja just does a phenomenal job of depicting like feudal Japan and still giving you that aspect of like supernatural and fantasy like flora
Mm-hmm.
to it. Like you're in like the gulag, you're in the ghetto of Japan, but
Right.
then you have these supernatural powers to it. With Rise of Ronin, I like it because in a sense is drawing back to the origins of being a samurai without like a clan or tag name for itself. Kind of like what was that game that came out, Ghost of Tsushima, but less of a more dramatic aspect to it. And
Sure.
I'm just want to play a game where I'm gonna be a samurai and slice up people, use little tricks and aspects like that, and just enjoy the game for what it is. It does have a story, and it looks like it's gonna be like a vintage homage to like almost Assassin's Creed in a sense, where you're
Yeah.
trying to get honor back to yourself and your family. Which who doesn't really care, like a story like that? That can go a long way. But I'm curious with Rise of Ronin, how are you going to tie it all together? Team Ninja is great for phenomenal gameplay, but they lack conclusions. Like
Mm-hmm.
even in Nioh 2, without spoiling anything, the ending just falls off and it gives you like, where is it? Where's my whole reward for completing the game and making it here? So I'm just
Right.
curious if they're gonna just make a nice full cake or a cookie. So
Yeah. Okay. I got you. Personally, I'll take a cookie over cake any day, but I knew what you mean.
what? He doesn't.
I don't. I'm not as big as I am. I'm not really big on sweets. This is all spaghetti. Like this. This is this is a,
Awesome. Okay.
this is all poor eating choices that don't involve candy. Um.
I'm right there with you as well.
Okay. But yeah, like I watched the PlayStation stream, but I was just like meh on most of it. Like honestly.
Wait, Sasha, what about the Psycho and the driving and the driving and the Psychos?
Yeah, so there's one game that makes me want to play PlayStation. Pacific Drive,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Oh, Pacific Drive.
yeah. So this looks like a sci-fi driving game. So
Mm-hmm.
like Driver in like Men in Black or but Mars Attacks
Yeah.
or like I don't know, it looks like there's aliens invading.
Something.
I don't know. The trailer I watched showed these like little I don't know, jellyfish orb like things
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
stuff
it's trying
like
to horrible.
stuff coming up out of the road and big structures that did not appear to be man-made and you're
Yeah.
just driving around all of that. That looked awesome to me.
Okay. I mean, I'm vaguely interested in that, but I'm not. I don't know. It didn't scream like, oh, I want to see that. Like it was just like, oh, okay.
I feel like driving games are kind of my way of detaching where other people play like a farming simulator.
Sure.
I just,
Yeah.
just like a mindless driving game, or hey, you're going to drive and here's your one objective.
Sure.
That looks pretty unique to me. A nice sci fi landscape, that is my favorite type of game.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay attention much to the score. I have to like go back to it again because the visual aspects just really titillated my eyes. I was like, "Ooh, scary horror!" Especially when it showed the concept you have to get out the car. You're not always in the car. You have to get out the car for supplies and fuel. And that whole concept that there's like a being that's chasing you and you're like anxiety. You don't know if it's right around the corner, how much time you have to go into the store to get these things. I love games like that. It gives you that hectic rush.
I'm wondering how challenging it's going to be to keep your car repaired and
Yeah.
also keep yourself stocked if that's going to be
Hmm.
also a part of it. But I would imagine that you're going to have to do a balancing act of, do I drive through this thicket that's going to damage my car? Or do I
Mm-hmm.
stay on the road, which is very clearly also dangerous?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or
And
for
do I
that
have
matter,
to
we
pick
even haven't
sides?
seen it if it has cities or towns that you can like peruse through and that's infected with whatever this being is or something like that. Or like you said, the unman made structures. Can you drive into that? Can you go around it? Is that like an objective you're going to? Like there wasn't really anything that told you what you're doing out there. But it gave
Kind
me. Do
of
you guys
looked like
remember
you were
the?
surviving.
Yeah, like. But you remember the movie Twister?
Yes.
Yep.
It reminds me of that. Like they're looking for it. Like they're not just running away. They're looking for the source in a sense. Because
Hmm.
at the end, it's like, oh no, what's happening again? Like what's going on? Like that whole curiosity
And then
behind the shadow.
you use your belt to tie yourself to a water pipe.
Yeah,
See, it
remember
kind
that?
of the landscape kind of reminded me of, there's this science fiction book called The Genocides, and it's about this alien race of, I don't know, spores, trees, something, I don't know, that they plant themselves into the earth and they kill all the crops, and they build these giant like structures that sap all of the earth's resources, and
Wow.
all the
Mhm.
people that are left, the whole point is just survival until all the resources are gone, basically.
See that
But
That's
that's
sad.
the opposite of what I look for in a game, which is why I was like, because like I don't like survival games. Like when I'm playing D&D and they're like, how much days of food do you have? Like I don't know. What? Why do we? Let me kill a goblin. Like I'm not here to simulate me eating. That's a human like real life
Yeah,
thing.
I agree.
I don't.
How much rations do you have?
Oh, is it too cold? Did I get a sweater? Am I good? Like, do I have to really worry about the temperature right now? Oh, you're too hot. You work too. No, no, I don't. Like, unless it's a specific challenge, like I don't care. And like when it does it in video games, I think a lot of reasons why I don't like games like The Last of Us is because of those crafting survival things, where I'm just like, I don't care. Let me play the game. You're throwing shit in front of me to stop me from playing the game. Like like that's the way I feel about a lot about a survival mechanics. It's very few and far between where I'm like, this feels cool, or like I liked Dead Island, but you ate to recover health. It wasn't necessarily
Yeah,
survival. Like,
you can turn on survival mode in Fallout, and I think Fallout is set up nicely for survival mode because there's
mhm.
yeah.
food and things
You're
everywhere, and you
constantly
have that.
going into.
Yeah, I if there was survival mode in Fallout, like look, I barely got where I threw in where I did in the little that I played of New Vegas. Like if I had to worry about survival stuff in New Vegas, I'm out. Like
You're a cannibal. It's fine.
I so like
Yep.
it's like a pet
It
peeve for
changes the
me.
way you play it for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will. But like it's like a pet peeve for me in a game where I just like, why do I have to do so much micromanagement? Like
Mm-hmm.
that is like,
But
again,
that's what a farming simulator is.
I
Like,
know, I know, and that's why I was very surprised that I really liked Stardew Valley, but I didn't focus on that in Stardew Valley. Well,
Yeah.
and in Stardew Valley, I was like, you know, Haley and I'm going to marry that girl, and I'm going to figure out how. Like that was Stardew Valley for me, and then I go fishing a lot. Like I mostly did fishing in Stardew Valley, like so I get what you're saying. It's just like it feels so not fun for me to do that. Like when I play a game and it's like, hey, here's some crafting to do, like to build this. Like, you do some crafting to have supplies, or craft this or craft that. And a lot of times I'm just like, please, no. I don't want to have to hoard all this stupid crafting material if I never have to use it. And I just have this giant inventory full of stuff. And then I have to craft with it, but I don't know when I'm thinking crafting, I'm like, I want to craft armor. I want